Legendary vintage deck brewer Zias, the creator of Zias Bond, has returned with a brand new take on Scam. This time with 4 Hogaaks. Welcome back, vintage gamers. It's a vintage challenge time. I have been eliminated from the Box TFT tournament in like 14th or so place out of 40. Not my favorite showing. I feel like I could have done so much better than I did, but you know, it is what it is. I got humbled by set 10 for sure. But that's okay, because it's Vintage Magic the Gathering time, and next weekend is Eternal Weekend in the United States, where there will be more than 250 Vintage players playing some paper Vintage. Today, however, Vintage Challenge on Magic the Gathering Online. I saw on Twitter one of my favorite brewers in Vintage, who is sometimes in the format, sometimes out of the format, Zias, creator of Zias Bond, the fast Bond decks of a couple years ago, was playing a Hogaak Scam list, which is pretty similar to the black-green troll scam list that I played a couple months ago. So I figured we'd give it a shot for this event. I do love a good scam list, and the fact that Zias is probably one of the strongest brewers in terms of making non-Force of Will decks. It's very hard to make non-Force of Will decks work in Vintage, but this one is pretty reasonable. So we're going to try it out today. So this is a black-green scam list, so it's got your, he didn't have trolls in his deck, but I think that might have just been an oversight because he has been out of the format for a little while. But, you got your Grief, Reanimate, Troll, Scam package with your best hate bears in the format with Bowmaster and Collector Roof. This time we're going to play a Dark Ritual package. I think it's probably just necessary to play, like, Hardcast Griefs and Bowmasters and stuff. But in this time, we're going to go all in on the Hogaak subplan with 4 Stitcher Supplier, 4 Hogaak, as well as Cabal Therapy. We have a Dryad Arbor also to help enable that. You can do a lot of cool things with the Stitcher Supplier. We can sack it to Cabal Therapy. We can ping it with the Orcish Bowmasters. Orcish Bowmasters itself makes 2 things that cast a Hogaak out of the yard. So there's a lot of power inherent in this shell. Grief Reanimate, I think, is just a strong enough interaction to be good in Vintage. Obviously, it's at probably maybe it's worst in Vintage because there's just, less time. But like taking 2 cards out of your opponent's hand in Vintage can really, really, really screw them over, especially when people are keeping, Mox and mana hands and stuff like that. Sideboard is straightforward. We've got powerful anti-Bizarre card, Leyline of the Void, powerful anti-Artifact card, Force of Vigor. We're finishing out our 4 oofs. We've got 4 of the best removal spells for mono white in Snuff Out and Dismember. And then I'm going to try 1 Grist in the sideboard for the grindy matchups, as it were. Mostly for like the Planeswalker and Lurrus decks. I had Grist in the main of my last build, and it does pair really, really well with Hogaak, but I wanted to try to play this compact shell in game 1, and then maybe we'll bring the Grist in if it makes sense. Yeah, so pretty straightforward. Also, it's a Once Upon a Time deck. Once Upon a Time is a card that doesn't get utilized that much in Vintage, just because it doesn't interact super well with Bizarre, whereas you can't really like keep this and hope to find a Bizarre. You kind of have to mulligan to a Bizarre, but our deck does not feature Bizarre of Baghdad. So I actually think Once Upon a Time looks really, really strong in this deck, finding our Grief, or our Hogaak, or our, hate bear that of choice. So I'm actually pretty excited. This deck is not a forcible deck, so it has the capability of just going 0-5, but I think this is a strong enough deck to win a tournament, so we're going to try it out and see you now. Are you interested in weekly Vintage metagame recommendations? Do you want to see your deck list played on my channel? Or maybe you are just looking for the best way to support my Vintage content? Make sure you check out the Patreon link in the description below. Let's battle. All right, here we go. Round 1. We've got a mirror across the table. Powerful Vintage Magician. Likes to play controlling decks. We'll see if this is a Lurrus. Looks like a Lurrus. It is a Lurrus. Our hand features a Troll of Khazad-dûm that could have been a fetch land. 50-50 chance it could have been a fetch land. And no other mana. So we're going to look at this hand. This hand has a mana and a Troll of Khazad-dûm and a Once Upon a Time and a Dark Ritual. Gonna keep this one, and we're gonna bottom the Bayou and keep the basic against the Lurrus deck. And then I'm just gonna see what this Once Upon a Time finds first. Can't find a Reanimate, which is probably the best thing we could have. Hogaak, Bowmaster, Supplier, Wasteland. Nope. Assassin's Trophy and Abrupt Decay are not really vintage playable Magic cards. They are not that good right now. So we can Gaak pitch Ritual, cycle Troll, and keep Bowmaster. It's not like we have a Reanimate in our hand, and one of our 4 Hogaaks would be on the bottom if we were to say keep Supplier. We could theoretically keep... I mean, I think the strongest card here is just Bowmaster. Unfortunately, we're just like left with not enough action, but I mean, it is what it is, right? I mean, I could theoretically wait. I could just try to go Dark Ritual, Hardcast Grief on turn 2. My opponent is on Lurrus, so like there's possibility that that's just fine. Maybe we'll try that. I think we're just going to go cycle and find a second basic swamp. Also, like holding all these cards in hand gives us like a ton more options as well. Unfortunately, our hand is just like a little anemic, but it's a good thing because our opponent's deck is going to be a little anemic. Wasteland, played around that expertly. You do love to see it. All right, let's cycle a Troll of Khazad-dûm. Let's go get another basic swamp. There's no basic forest in this deck. It's just like not a very good basic forest deck. It's primarily a black deck. All right, we drew the Dryad Arbor, a classic showing. I am interested in Dark Ritual Grief, which is a little bit stronger than playing Pitchcast Grief. Probably just gets Force of Willed, but that would be a 2 for 2, so yeah, Island Cycle makes sense. Wasteland does do that. We do have a nice mental misstep to cover Swords to Plowshares. Yep, Tundra. So it's the blue-white deck in comparison to the blue-black deck. Ancestral Recall. Ooh. Don't mind if I do. Or I could leave it and have mental misstep for it. Let's take a think. Let's take a think here. I have an Orcish Bowmaster, and I have a mental misstep, and my opponent simply has 1 Tundra. They had to cycle. Maybe someday. Riddlesmith is not at an all-time best right here. This is a pretty greedy hand here, right? We're also playing against Esper, not blue-white. So, like, the best card in their hand is Ancestral Recall, right? But they have 2 Lavinias they can't cast, a Spell Pierce they can't use as backup. We have an Orcish Bowmaster. What if we... But they can't cast their Orcish Bowmaster. Like, we can just take the Snapcaster for future plays. If they wait on this Ancestral, we simply Bowmaster them. And if they don't wait on this Ancestral, they have to draw Force of Will. So, like, I want to take this Bowmaster, but I don't have a black mana for it. And they don't have, like, they don't really have any mana to do anything. I kind of think I want to take Bowmaster, which feels so weird. I'm going to take their Bowmaster. Maybe I just take Ancestral anyways. Yeah, I mean, them drawing Force is good, but them drawing any land that makes black mana is also good, right? I think it's between Ancestral and Bowmaster. I don't think it's Snapcaster Mage. This just leaves them with nothing. I don't really like it, but it is what it is. Troll of Khazad-dûm. I think it's just better to play my Dryad Arbor. I kind of want to bait a Bowmaster on my Dryad Arbor so I can Bowmaster their Bowmaster. But I also like kind of want to just play my Bowmaster now. They drew another Tundra, so now they have Snap. They're just gonna play Lavinia, so that turns off my Mental Misstep. What? It's so strong. Are they gonna wasteland my Dryad Arbor? You can't really do that, can you? Oh, you can. Okay. Playing Lavinia here is like actually really annoying, right? Because I can't misstep the second Ancestral. Maybe this makes a lot of sense on why I have to take Ancestral though. I think I'm just gonna cycle the Troll. I feel like playing a Bowmaster, and if they draw a fetch land and I play my own Bowmaster, isn't it just like super losing? If I find a Deathrite Shaman, I might be able to cast my Mental Misstep. Cabal Therapy? Well, I can't flash it back. But I can take their Bowmaster or their Snapcaster Mage. Huh. Interesting. I cannot resolve a flashback Cabal Therapy. It's okay. I'm pretty sure I'm going to name Orcish Bowmaster here. And then I can just deploy their Bowmaster on my Bowmaster on end step anyways. All right, they did draw another Tundra. So they have Spell Pierce, Snapcaster. Okay. All right, so I kind of want to just... Should I just deploy the Bowmaster now? Or should I wait until they snap back? I can also let them attack, too, and maybe get a trade, too. So I think I'll just wait. I mean, they're kind of forced into playing, so... I mean, you could really easily read that I have a Bowmaster in this game, right? Like, I feel like that's not a hard read at all. But do they really have any other choice other than Jam? Yeah, they put Lurrus in their hand. They're so fucking smart, man. Ah, good control player. Like, they just have a clear read I have a Bowmaster. Oh, wait, I took it off once upon a time. Okay. That's even worse. True. Factually accurate. I forgot about that. Just paper things. I honestly believe even if Orcish Bowmaster wasn't off once upon a time, it's a clear read I have a Bowmaster. So we definitely should have played this like 8 turns ago. But getting rid of their Bowmaster was pretty crucial, so... All right, so I can technically play a Mental Misstep in the future, which is pretty sick. I just forgot, man. Okay. Wait, they can just replay their Bowmaster with their Lurrus, though. Oh, wait, I can eat their Bowmaster later. Okay. Drew a Saga. It's pretty good here. Are they going to just snap Ancestral into my Bowmaster or play Lurrus? Like wicked late Thursday night. I'm not planning. Bobble into Bowmaster, also not very good. But I can't eat that one, so. I don't really have removal in my main, so that's also a problem. Stitcher's Supplier. Like, this Lavinia just shuts down like half of my deck, doesn't it? That's why I had Caracas in my sideboard, but I took it out because Not Me yelled at me, and now I regret it immensely. So I guess they can spell pierce my mental misstep. I might just be supposed to eat the Bowmaster in case they draw something. I think we're losing this game. Maybe we're just supposed to eat Ancestrals and play this Deathrite Shaman, or use this Deathrite Shaman as well. It's your fault. No, I didn't have any Caracas in the main, so it's fine. Yeah, I actually do think it's just going to be simply activating Deathrite Shaman, right? Because I can't actually race here. Like, I'm not going to be able to attack with this Grief anymore. Strip Mine. So there's no point in... Well, now I need to be careful about Ancestral... I should have just ate on my turn, maybe? Should I just eat Lorien then? Eating the bow guy is fine, but I don't feel like it contributes to us winning the game. I'm just going to eat their Lorien. So we no longer have any good attacks, right? Wow, that's a sick draw. I'm just going to eat the Ancestral now, I think. I can no longer eat the Bowmaster anyways. Let me just check this attack for a second. There's just like no good attack here, right? If they double block here, I get to kill the Lavinia and take the Snap out of their hand. But the Snap doesn't do anything. What is... I mean, I can trade with the Construct, but that doesn't actually help me, right? Like, what does trading with any of their creatures do besides give them the ability to lifelink? Like, that attack just doesn't look good at all. They just, like, replay Lavinia, or I kill a Construct, but the Construct is kind of irrelevant. I mean, they don't even need to have a Lavinia in hand. They can just replay it with Lurrus. So I guess I can just eat one of my things at any time. So there's no reason... Well... If they were to draw a fetch land and Bowmaster my Bowmaster, that would be the problem, right? So I'm just going to eat this Ancestral Recall. We're just playing this Deathrite Shaman has to get their game. Two activations of Deathrite Shaman has to get there. I mean, not even two, because like this Lurrus can attack and gain 3 life too. If I were them, I probably would have considered bobbling, even though it pings them for 1. Don't know the contents of their list, though. I mean, Orcish Bowmaster has done actual nothing besides like make it so they don't cast Ancestral. Maybe that's a big thing. I mean, I also made a mistake, right? I should have played this Bowmaster a turn earlier. I don't think it mattered, but I just kind of forgot it was revealed. I might have missed a damage. No, because they played a Lavinia that turn, right? So I wouldn't have even been able to attack. Yeah, this is the Lurrus coming in for lifelink. This is just Stitcher's Supplier or Army trade with it. Maybe I need to put another thing in case they drew Swords to Plowshares. But if they draw Swords to Plowshares, they just Swords this Deathrite and I'm dead anyways. So I don't have to play around that. All right, build a bunch of nonsense. They just haven't hit their black mana, right? Which is the problem with this Esper deck. That's a pretty good draw as well. It's going to speed up the clock by a turn. Now I actually have a really reasonable grief attack, right? So if I grief attack and then I trade, well, trading with Lavinia still doesn't do anything for me because they still have a Snapcaster anyways. So I think we just hold this back and play another Deathrite Shaman. So now they need more than one answer. This is like this game is a very legacy game. Like a traditional legacy game, right? This has just been a very legacy gameplay. The fact that this mental misstep is not castable is like kind of sad days. Do they have a needle in the main? I don't know. I doubt it, but so they're going to bobble themselves to get the extra. I mean, the 1 damage doesn't really matter very much, so it makes sense. Get the extra card. All right. I don't think there's any reason to activate. Hang you. Get a new token. Good news is now we don't get Bowmastered from Lurrus. This is island cycling to find black source. We still know 4 cards out of our opponent's 6 cards. If they find Swords to Plowshares, are we not losing? Like, they go swords, snap swords, and we lose? Maybe we can win on the ground now, actually, though, because they lost the Saga to the Wasteland and they don't have a Lurrus anymore. Well, they can hard cast a Lorien into Bowmaster now. Well, we could theoretically have an attack for lethal if they go swords, snap swords, maybe. That is the thing we're like the most worried about. Unfortunately, we like this misstep would be so good, but I guess they would have Spell Pierce backup, so maybe it wouldn't be that good. Bayou lets me cast Misstep. I could technically use this Deathrite Shaman to cast Misstep right now, but they have a Spell Pierce in their hand, so it's kind of silly to do that. Well, I see what you're saying. Maybe Bayou gives me the mana, is what you're trying to say. But right now, if I just go like activate on my next turn, I'm winning, right? So Demonic Tutor. Okay, so they're gonna do this, but they're not going to have enough to pay for Spell Pierce anymore, right? Oh no, they are gonna still wait, shit. So you should get a Swords to Plowshare. They Swords to Plowshare this. They go to 3. Well, do they have attack for lethal though? I might have an attack for lethal then. Just like 1, 2, 3. This has to be blocked by 2. This gets blocked by 2, and these get attack in for lethal. So yeah. So this is fine. So even Swords doesn't get. I guess they could Time Walk here. Just Time Walk, snap Time Walk. I have to eat the Time Walk. Then they would snap Tutor. So I guess I would just have to hold for Snapcaster. Right, they're passing. They're attacking. So they are time walking. Whatever. I mean, I don't care that you're attacking. All right, so I definitely can't use my Deathrite Shaman ability because if they Snapcaster, I want to eat what they target. So this means if they do draw a Swords off the top, they can Swords my Deathrite and then Snapcaster the other part, and that might be annoying. I think. Because we know the 3 cards that are in their hand currently, Lavinia, Snapcaster, Pierce. There's going to be 1 unknown. Well, they always draw the best card. That's how Magic works. Yeah, I guess the fact that these are sorceries means with the Snapcaster trigger on the stack, I can just, or with the swords on the stack, I can just eat the Demonic Tutor and it'll be fine. Yeah, again, I just don't care. No, I don't think so, because if they play... I don't think so. Should I have? I mean, what sequence of cards punishes me for that? Right, even if they plow, I still can eat the Demonic Tutor. They can't do anything about it. They're a Lurrus deck, so they can't have Teferi. They can't ever snap DT. I have a sword. I have a Deathrite Shaman. If they swords my Deathrite Shaman, I immediately eat the tutor. They can snap target Demonic, but the Demonic is a sorcery speed. So I don't think that matters. Wait. Magic Online saves me! Yes, let's go! Quick, edit it back. I don't think I ever resubmitted my list, is what I think happened. Nami has been ignored by Magic Online. But the grindy. Yeah, I do wish I had a Grist as well. Grist would also be good. All right, so I can't snuff out Lurrus. So I guess we're just going to bring in some Dismembers. And then I don't actually think Collector Roof is good in this matchup. So I'm going to probably take out Collector Roof. And then I want one more card out of my deck. All my cards are the same. Once upon a time? I don't know. I don't know that Grist is better than Caracas. My opponent has like 4 Lavinias and 1 Lurrus, right? Or 3 Lavinias and 1 Lurrus. It's always in their hand. Stitcher. Stitcher's kind of our enabler, though. Dark Writ makes a lot of sense. Troll, I think, is a worse cut because the opponent is a Wasteland deck. I think Dark Writ is one of the spells that is like worse against a controlling deck that plays lots of counters and stuff. I think Dark Writ makes the most sense so far. Arbor, no, we want Arbor to be able to fetch up and play Hogaak. I think Dark Ritual makes the most sense by like a pretty large amount. Like it's a card that is like actively, its design is not good against what my opponent is doing. It's counter philosophies. Snuff Out is not a very good card against the Lavinia Lurrus deck, but I appreciate the suggestion. Yeah, this hand looks good. I get F6 value. Gotta love to see it. Grief Pitch Therapy, maybe. Or a different card that we draw. And then try to pick apart their hand. Once Upon a Time. Sick. Grief, Deathrite, Swamp. So we just take... If we just take this Swamp and we play Grief, Pitching, Therapy, and then we either choose to play a second Therapy or play a Deathrite Shaman, I think the basic is the best of these 3. I don't think the other choices are good enough. Like, we have enough black cards. I was just like hoping for another black card. I think this Swamp is the best choice. I'm gonna play around Daze by playing this Swamp, and then I'm gonna cast Grief, Pitching one of my Therapies. I think these other cards are too important. I think we have to pitch a Therapy. All right, my opponent's got an answer, maybe? Or just Psycho Lorien revealed. Yeah. No, Psycho Lorien revealed is like a very common play pattern against this. Does it resolve? It resolves. Okay. Containment Priest, Saga Needle. I see. Does Hogaak beat Triple Saga? So I could Therapy this Needle. It gives us outs of drawing Wasteland. This Containment Priest doesn't do anything, though. Is that better than playing a Deathrite Shaman, though? Because a Deathrite Shaman taps for my Hogaak next turn, and I'm currently only going to have 1, 2 cards in the yard. I cast Therapy. I have 3 cards in the yard. No, I can't cast Therapy. I guess I can't play a Hogaak next turn no matter what. So I should probably just take both their cards out of their hand and just battle. I think the most relevant thing is taking the needle means I can draw Wasteland. All right, my opponent has 4 lands. Can we win? I don't know. I think being able to draw Reanimate is also like worth it. What'd they draw? They drew a Lavinia off the top. This game has absolutely zero justice. What an absolute fucking savage. You just can't be serious. You just simply can't be serious. Lurrus in the hand. They can just Lurrus back everything too. I can just grief. I can't grief Lurrus. I can't grief Lurrus because of Lavinia. This is the dumbest. This is the dumbest shit. I swear to God. I need a dark ritual. There's just simply no justice. Well, I can probably eat the containment priest, I guess, but if I had played the Deathrite Shaman, I could have griefed. I can't even flashback therapy because of Lavinia. This is the savagest attack, by the way. I can cast Hogaak. It will be countered. My opponent can't block here because if I Deathrite Shaman, it kills the Lavinia. Or sorry, if I play a second Bowmaster, it kills the Lavinia. That's a true stream type sniping test right there. Huge attack. All right, if my opponent decides to make construct tokens instead of play Lurrus here, then we can grief them. They drew Wasteland? That doesn't do anything. I don't know why I'm upset about this. All right, they're going to play Lurrus, and they're going to take the needle, or the bauble here, I guess. Or the needle, maybe. The needle. All right, so I can still Deathrite the Containment Priest, but that's just not winning. Oh, wait, they're going to needle the Deathrite Shaman. I can't do anything. The game is just lost. My opponent just kept 4 lands and then drew best possibles every turn. There's no justice. There's simply no justice. I drew Grief Reanimate the turn after. Wait. I can cast Hogaak, get it countered, and then reanimate it. Yeah? True? I cast Hogaak for exactly 4. It gets countered, and then I reanimate it. I guess that's the plan. I don't know if that's a good enough plan, but it certainly is a plan. Oh, I didn't have to tap 8. What did I just get rid of? A therapy for no reason? Whoops. Wait, what? This just casts through it? Convoke is paying mana? No, not the non-creature part, chat. When opponent casts a spell if no mana was spent. I'm... I was not aware that this is how it worked. Delve and Convoke is paying? Oh, I was pretty. I was kind of under the impression that that isn't how it worked. Oh yeah, I guess I should. No, now I can't reanimate the grief. I guess I'm just gonna reanimate the Containment Priest. I did a lot of misplays here. No, I'm I don't know. I'm a little confused. I also could have had a grief here. I mean, I know that their hand is 2 sagas and 1 unknown, but I thought I was tapping 8 mana for Hogaak for whatever reason. I don't know why. I think like letting my opponent return a creature is like worse than it's like worse than not using the reanimate. I'm just like pretty confused, I guess. I have to play a lot faster than I currently am as well. I could have sworn this countered it. Rules convoke. They changed how it works? I'm just going to lose the construct tokens anyways, right? Sorry, I'm like busy reading articles on my left side here. I also have 5 minutes on my clock. Oh, I can't use my Deathray Shaman. Yeah, I'm just going to lose this game to constructs anyways. When did they change the ruling for convoke? Oh, someone linked a nice one. So it is paying mana for colored symbols. Interesting. I'm pretty sure I've had my Hogaaks countered by Lavinia. That's why I was bringing it up. No, I freaking drew a reanimate after my Containment Priest. Whatever. No. It's the rules have, if the rules have legitimately changed, then it's like, come on now. Yeah, they're just not gonna block my Containment Priest. Wait, I can just I can just cast it through Containment Priest because it's cast. Wait, this is just like completely what? All right, well, things are getting a little weird in here. My opponent should probably have Wastelanded my Dryad Arbor. Oh, they have hard cast Force. I see. Okay. I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose on time, unfortunately. They also still had triple Saga, right? So they should definitely Wasteland my Dryad Arbor, though. Wait, what did they just do? They just Soul Guide Lantern my Hogaak off of Saga? God bless, dude. I mean, I'm super dead, right? I drew another one, but I don't have enough creatures yet. I think it's going to take my opponent more time to win this game than it's going to take for me to play this game. I'm just going to make actions that are logical. Just another hard cast Force. Oh, Delve, sure. Because it's going to take me 10 seconds to play the remaining turns of this game. My turns are extremely straightforward. Also, my deck doesn't really need 4.5 minutes to win. I just like spent a lot of time explaining things to chat. And also learning how Delve works, apparently. Learning how Convoke works. They tapped the white mana so they couldn't Swords to Plowshares. Why is it not actually F6ing? No, I don't think we can win this game. Like, these contracts are going to outsize Hogaak soon, too. Skull Clamp? Beast! Bowmaster Skull Clamp? Like a boss? They already returned to Lurrus this turn, right? Oh, they drew Ancestral off the top. Hilarious. And they have double Wasteland? Okay. Don't think this one's winnable anymore. I kind of wish I had Endurance in my deck instead of Leylines, because like bringing in Leyline against my opponent's deck is like not really reasonable, but bringing in Endurance would be fantastic, right? I should just block with Containment Priest there. Hmm. Yeah, like if I had Endurance instead of Leyline, they'd be really, really strong. I still don't want to bring in like Vigors or anything like that. No, I think Force of Vigor against just Saga and my opponent is literally a 3 Lavinia deck is just like insane. I would never ever make that play. That's 4, 6. Deathrite Shaman's turned off. Ah, I should have played around Days. There's no way they have Days in this deck, right? I'm gonna probably talk a little less as I try to finish this game in 3 minutes. Island Cycle, Tundra, Swords my Hogaak, I assume. That's not enough to play Hogaak yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's also some like serious downsides to playing Hogaak. Ugh, Bowmaster of their own. Now we're just playing Hogaak because these attacks are kind of shit. Could have played Dark Ritual. They had Force. It's fine. Saga's really good here. Chat cannot read Needle today, huh? Oh, I could have cast my troll, maybe. No, I was short. It's fine. Maybe I should have held it then. Oh, I'm still short. Okay. That was bad. Wait, so what does this Containment Priest actually do? It just stops Reanimate? That card doesn't cast Hogaak. That's crazy. Could attack with Stitcher Supplier. All right, we're dead this game, unfortunately. I screwed up. I mean, I don't know. Swords, my they had second swords anyways. All right, we need to block with Stitcher Supplier. Hopefully they'll attack into it at some point. Oh no, they're just gonna lantern me here. All right, yeah, we're just dead. Oh, they went Lotus to get Lurrus, maybe? I would have just gone Lantern for sure. Maybe they think that Containment Priest stops Hogaak, which it does not, because you're casting it. Maybe they just have a third swords. Maybe they have it in hand. I just have triple swords. All right, fair enough. I just don't think I was ever beating 4 swords, right? Now they go Lurrus, replay Lurrus, Lotus. They have infinite blockers now. Kind of just like a really awful setup. The fact that they had black for bowmasters to kill my bowmasters too was like also pretty debilitating. Not humiliating. Currently 3 away from a Hogaak, so I have to draw a supplier probably. Blocking here means I lose the ability to block here, which I think is worse. I also lose a creature. Repeal on my token? Good God. They just have all the best cards, man. They just have all the best cards. I swear to God, they have all the best ones. It's fucked up. They didn't even draw any cards this game. They've cast 0 draw spells in this game. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. They just simply drew the best cards in the matchup. It's fine. No problem. All right, round 2. Let's try this again. I definitely lost too much time in my last round doing things like trying to learn the rules to the game. Yeah, this hand looks fine. Another Lurrus matchup. Well, it's not alternative casting cost. It very much strictly says it's not that. Stitcher, Supplier, Bowmaster. I feel like this is... Huh. Paying life for Phyrexian mana does not count as paying mana. So... I mean, we're up against Lurrus again, so I feel like we really want Bowmaster. I feel like this is another situation where I'm not casting Grief. And instead, I'm simply playing Bayou Deathrite Shaman. I mean, I don't think we lost the round because we didn't have enough time. That's not really why we lost. We lost because our opponent had 3 swords to plowshares. We're just always going to lose to triple swords to plowshares if we don't grief scam them. I don't really think that the time was a problem in our match. Brainstorm, that means they don't have a counter for Bowmaster. Black Lotus. I think we grief pitching Deathray Shaman and then wasteland their land and play Bowmaster. Does that mean we have enough to play Hogaak? I don't think so. But we should probably start by grief pitching Deathray Shaman realistically. I mean, they probably brainstorm their good cards away, but I feel like I should still be doing this. They didn't know that I would draw a black card either, for what it's worth. Okay. Cycle Lorien revealed. Ancestral Recall, and I don't have 2 blue mana. Ah, I should have played my Wasteland. There's just no way my opponent didn't cast Ancestral first. This doesn't make any sense, man. They should just be casting this in my upkeep, right? Why am I supposed to play around this? Isn't that crazy? If I had simply played my Wasteland and then griefed them, what were they going to do? Cast it into my Bowmaster? Force pitch? This doesn't make sense, right? Like, I'm not supposed to play around that, right? I mean, I should just play my Wasteland. It's just always correct to play Wasteland. There's never an instance where it's not correct to play Wasteland. But it just doesn't make sense that my opponent would do that. So I was super confused. Well, I'm not saying that I shouldn't have played Wasteland. I'm just saying that Ancestral is not a reason I shouldn't have played Wasteland, because there's just like no way that should ever happen, right? It's okay. No problem. Like, they're supposed to play around me having Wasteland, not me the other way around. I should definitely play Wasteland first. There's no reason not to play Wasteland, because they know it's in my hand and I have no other land drop no matter what, so. It's fine. It's fine. I currently can't cast this Hogaak. I don't have enough creatures and cards in my yard, because this wasn't a fetch. Strip mine. That doesn't matter. Wait, they just let me play Hogaak. What are they cooking? What are they cooking over there? Ah, I see. Force. I'm gonna play this in case I draw a green card next turn. I mean, forcing on Hogaak is really good for me because it's not getting sorted. Swords? White mana? I'm just gonna hold this because, again, I still want to cast this once upon a time if possible. Swords my Deathray Shaman. Oh, cycle. Noted. Oh, wait, they had a strip mine in their yard, so I could... I mean, I'm always wastelanding there. There's no world on which I'm not wastelanding there. I guess maybe if they play like a Saga this turn, I shouldn't wasteland there. It's fine. Troll of Khazad-dûm. I'm gonna get a basic. Still have green mana from my Deathray Shaman later. Close am I to this Hogaak? I'm 1 away from this Hogaak. Could grief them next turn and then Hogaak. Wait, why didn't they crack Bobble? What world wouldn't you crack Bobble? Oh, because there's a Bowmaster? That's not a good enough reason. You're like losing horribly on board, right? All right, time to see how the Lavinia test goes again. All right, so I play Bayou, I cast Once Upon a Time, and then I cast Lavinia. I cast Hogaak through Lavinia. Or no, I'm still short, aren't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm still short. I can cast this Grief into it, get it countered, and then cast it. That seems like a really bad play. Think we're better off simply just playing another Deathrite Shaman. Might even be better off casting a Grief. Ah, they drew a Saga. 2 cards in hand. I guess I can't cast a Grief, right? Because there's not enough artifact. Lands in yard. They just buy back Lurrus here. Maybe I should just be eating spells, really. We're not buying Lurrus here. Oh, Dark Ritual. I like that. Dark Ritual. It's kind of sick here. Cast Grief. Resolve Grief. Guess that would have been really good against Lurrus if they put it in hand. Treasure Cruise, Mishra's Bauble. So they were just not casting Cruise because of Bowmaster? Sure. All right, so now we simply play a Gaak. Just with all of our units, or... Yeah, I think we don't want to like use our Wasteland, so I just take these 2. I take a creature out of my yard, probably. And a spell. Leave a land in case I need the mana. All right, this looks winning. This is what happens when my opponent doesn't draw 4 Swords to Plowshares, by the way. I swear this used to get countered. I can't find any rulings on it, though. My opponent is paused, like, how'd you play this Hogaak? I'm just going to post on Twitter and tag Elliot. I don't know. I don't know, chat. I thought this didn't work, and now it works. And chat was saying that's how it's supposed to work. And I don't understand, okay? I don't know if I'm exploiting a bug or if that's how it works now, or... I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's wrong, because it definitely didn't work like this before. All right, we bring in the Krakus and the Dismembers, and we take out the Collector Roofs and the Dark Ritual. Submit. I don't know. It's very not specific. It does not look like from the rules text that Convoke counts as paying mana. It kind of sounds like it's it's not an alternative. It says it's very clearly not an alternative, but it doesn't say it pays for the mana. It says you can do it instead of paying for the mana. So I'm pretty sure it shouldn't work. I don't know like what broke Lavinia again, but like I'm almost 100% sure that I've had Hogaaks be countered by Lavinia. I'm almost 100% sure I have that in my memory bank. Oh, that's true. You can't. Well, that says you can't spend mana to cast this spell. What am I supposed to do with my tournament? Am I supposed to just cast my Hogaaks? Like, I can't just not cast my Hogaaks. Like, what am I supposed to do with this entire tournament, this entire stream, if that's the case? Just not cast my Hogaaks? That doesn't, like, I can't do that. Like, I have to play my Hogaaks to, like, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. Like, if it's bugged, like, what am I really supposed to do here? Am I supposed to drop and get refunded and not stream? Am I supposed to, like, but like, I'm bug abusing, right? Like, clearly bug abusing if I do that, right? If I just like play out the whole stream and just like keep casting Gax into Lavinia, like that doesn't sit well with me. All right, so I have 4 mana here, a Once Upon a Time, a Reanimate, and a Therapy. I actually think this is worth keeping, right? Or is this crazy to think that this is a keep? Well, I don't know if it's a bug. I'm going to get confirmation if it's a bug or not. Like I'm gonna ask Elliot on Twitter, and Elliot's very smart, and I always trust Elliot's rules stuff. So Soul Guide Lantern, you got it, homie. Another Reanimate. All right, so I'm really looking for a grief here. I guess they could just counter this Once Upon a Time. I did not find a grief. I did find a Stitcher Supplier, though, which I think is... I guess they have a Soul Guide Lantern, so it doesn't really help. I mean, do I have a choice? Realistically, like I have to just like get my supplier... I get my first Reanimate countered, right? Oh, they're just gonna mental misstep it. Oh, I can just reanimate that. So that's actually probably one of like the better outcomes, right? Saga Gaming. Wait, they just cracked the lantern? They cracked the lantern? There's just no way they cracked the lantern. I'm just gonna name Swords to Plowshares. Or should I start with Force of Will? And then I can name Swords to Plowshares on the second cast after I reanimate. Ah, Ancestral Swords to Plowshares, Containment Priest, Needle Cruise. Sick. All right, let's try to go off here, I guess. They just don't have mana. That's why they did it. Because if they hit a blue mana, they can just do everything. So this puts 3 cards in the yard. I hit a troll. So then we can therapy their Swords to Plowshares or their Ancestral away. Hopefully we can hit another reanimate target. So I think this one has to hit Swords to Plowshares. We didn't hit... They just have to take Swords to Plowshares and put a Troll in play, right? I guess it definitely would have been better if I had simply not gotten Mental Misstep. I mean, if I got my Reanimate Mental Misstep, it's actually worse, right? But if they don't hit a land here, like, we're just super far ahead, right? Saga would have simply been better as a fetch land here. If my opponent had a fetch land instead of a Saga, they would have won the game. But instead, they're playing this stupid land. But, you know, last round, if my opponent had a fetch land instead of a Saga, they would have lost the game. So, you know, a little give, a little take. But what I'm trying to say is, like, Saga has a cost, even if people tell you it doesn't have a cost. I'm going to hold this Bowmaster probably and try to get him. Yeah, Sperling brings up a very strong argument, chat, where Hogaak literally says you can't spend mana to cast this card. It's a convincing argument. Oh, they have Brainstorm in response. Am I going to get beat by the top deck Brainstorm? No way. They're gonna force my Bowmaster. If I had simply played the Bowmaster, it would have resolved. All right, it resolved anyways. It's fine. All right, well, we won the game, so that's nice. We're still just sitting here trying to figure out how Lavinia works, but this is my deck working at peak efficiency. We just played the mirror. Oh, sorry, we just played the same matches round one, and we just smushed it. Smushed it. I'm pretty sure the difference between the games we've won and the games we've lost has been grief. Would you agree, chat? Would you not agree that grief is the determining factor of whether we won or lost games? That's not true though. Because we lost game 2 where we griefed them because they kept a hand that was all lands and then simply drew the best card every turn. Pilot difference? Me or my opponent? All right, here we go. Round 3. We got a good Femgrim across the table. We're also at the point where we're pretty confidently sure that Hogaak and Lavinia interaction is bugged. I'm not exactly sure how to remedy that from the streaming perspective ethically, so we will deal with that if it comes back up again. It won't come up this round because our opponent is on aggro shops, or some kind of variant of shops. Dark Ritual Collector Oof. Cycle Troll. Yep. That's a starter on the play against shops for sure. Dark Ritual, Play Collector Roof, Cycle Troll of Khazad-dûm for a basics. Probably another Bayou, actually. All things considered. In case we get, like, Wastelanded. We have to get a Bayou both times. We're also pretty close to Hogaak. We're at, after we play Collector Roof, we'll be at 2 creatures plus 3 in the yard. Not too bad. Hopefully this Collector Roof actually slows down my shop's opponent a little bit. Let's see. GaakScam 1, GaakScam 2. Ooh, Urza Saga. It's pretty good if they have a Tome as their second card. A Stone Coil as a 1/1. No! How does that work again? I trample over it, right? But it doesn't die. Yeah, Grim has been on aggro shops for a long time. All right, so we play a second Collector Roof this turn, and then next turn we could turn this Dark Ritual into a thing in the yard if we can. All right, so I assume they have an Ancient Tomb, or they wouldn't have played this Saga out against Double Collector Roof. They have a City of Traders, okay. So this means they can make Saga tokens if they want. It looks like they're going to play a Patchwork instead. Definitely can't attack into this board, so... But I wouldn't have been able to attack into a Saga board anyways. Deathrite Shaman is a card that allows me to play a Hogaak this turn, right? I have 3 in play. I Dark Ritual for 4 in the yard. Wait, I need 5 in the yard? No, that's it. That's enough because I have 3 in play. 7. Basic math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Dark Ritual. Hogaak. Your move. They're going to make a construct probably and then search up something. Dark Ritual. Make 1 mana. They also have a City of Trade. Wait, they didn't even make a construct? What's their plan, by the way? Maybe they have a Caracas in their deck? Caracas would not be unreasonable at the moment. Patchy Boy. Mm-hmm. New land, I assume? No new land. Okay. Reanimate. I just attack all, right? Seems... Not Deathrite Shaman, obviously, but... I mean, if they have a Krakus in there, 75, it's not over, right? But sure. Can I target the Patchworks at all? Because I can't activate ward costs. That's not how this works. Activate abilities, triggered abilities are different things. All right. I got Force of Vigors. I have more Collector Roofs. I have Dismember if I want it. I have Snuff Out if I want it. The problem is here is going to be... What are we taking out? Definitely taking out Therapies and Missteps. And we're definitely trimming on Once Upon a Times, probably. Probably just not... I don't know. How do we even cut enough cards to get in here? Maybe it's just all the Once Upon a Times. Like, I want all of my lands. I want all of my Moxen. Maybe Dark Rituals are getting cut, but it's kind of... Maybe on the draw, Dark Rituals are getting cut. I don't know about that. I could cut Bowmaster, I guess. I don't know. I think I want to do that. Even, like, it's just 2 creatures. I think it's fine. Maybe I trim Bowmaster. Not really sure. I mean, it's still good. Like, I don't think it's like the end all be all, but it's definitely not bad. Like, the reason they play No Rod is because it's good against, like, it's worse against other decks, but like they still don't want to be Collector Roof. Like, that game, if we didn't have Collector Roofs, it's not really playable. Grief on the draw. I don't know. I'm not really convinced that's correct either. I'm not even sure I want Snuff Out, though, to be fair, because I don't know. Maybe I do want Snuff Out. Maybe I'll just cut a bunch of Bowmasters. Cutting Ritual on the draw? I don't know. It seems fine. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I don't really know the heuristics for this. Also, if I'm bringing in Force of Vigor, I kind of want to bring in all the Collect Roofs, right? Ah, yes. 2 Dark Rituals, 2 Reanimates, and a Force of Vigor without a green card. Based. Mulligan this hand. Okay. Put the Bayou away. Ancient City of Traders. Soul Ring. Foundry Inspector. This is definitely just Swamp, Deathrite Shaman, Dismember, Pass, Hardcast Troll, right? I guess I'm going to Dismember in their upkeep so I don't get Mindbreak trapped. Another Inspector plus a Sphere. All right, that certainly limits my options. Can I play Gaak? If I get a Dryad Arbor maybe next turn? Because currently I would have had 6 mana, but now I need 2 more mana to play a Troll. So I might end up cycling Troll. So a fetch land puts 2 in my yard with 2 creatures in play. Troll is another card in my yard. Ritual is another card in my yard. I think it's just pass. I'm gonna probably cycle this Troll, I think, and get a Dryad Arbor. Nettlecyst. Nettlecyst is like another reason Collector Roof is pretty important, I think. I mean, obviously Vigor kills it, but I could kill this by fetching a Dryad Arbor and blocking. It's not actually good for me. Would have been good if I had a Bowmaster though. Yeah, I don't know about cutting Bowmaster. I don't really think cutting Bowmaster vibes here. I think I just get another basic though. I don't need a yeah, I should get it just in case I want to eat a creature with my Deathrite Shaman. It's like, oh, better if my thing gets wastelanded anyways. Another Deathrite Shaman seems really strong. Okay, so right now, can I cast a Hogaak? I have 6 cards, but it costs more, right? So no. The answer is no. Can I actually pay mana for a sphere cost? I don't think so, right? I have to delve. It's kind of unfortunate too. Whatever, it's okay. They have a pretty big clock though. I know I can delve additional cards to play Sphere, but I can't like tap mana to pay Sphere because I can't spend mana to cast this spell, and this just makes my spell cost more. No. I can't trust Magic Online to do anything now. I'm just going to take this hit. I need all the creatures in play that I can get. Obviously, I'm just going to eat this thing. All right, what do I need here? what do I need here? Yo, what's up, Sporks? Thanks. Oh no, wasteland on my Dryad Arbor. So, oh wait, why would they wasteland the Bayou? Can I not cast it through this now? Is that what happens? Does that work? How does that work? I don't know. Well, I'm gonna cast this for 3, and then I'm going to try to cast a Hogaak and see what happens. Okay. That's definitely a card. I don't know what happened. Maybe I should have kept more creatures in my yard. I felt like keeping lands in my yard would be good if I wanted to cast another spell through this Trinisphere. But they had lands in their yard. Oh, they just have Hogaak. Oh, they just have Caracas. God bless. Okay, I mean, there was nothing I could do about this. This had to be the case. Man, maybe playing Hogaak into the Lavinia Atraxa Lurrus metagame where everyone plays Caracas is not the best idea. Okay. Submit. I should not play Snuff Out, right? I don't know about these Snuff Outs. This hand is so bad. It's 5 Wastelands versus 1 Caracas. But the problem is, like, if you just Caracas at the right time, that doesn't matter if you have a Wasteland or not. Not that I had a Wasteland. I kind of feel like this hand sucks. And I would rather try to mulligan this hand and try to find, like, a Grief Reanimate hand. I feel like on the play, this hand is better than it would be, but, like, is it actually good? I mean, it was good in game 1. But will this still be good? Like, I'm not really drawing into anything powerful either. Like, it's not like I'm going to be able to cast Hogaak. I'm turning off my jet. Like, I just don't know if, like, mulliganing is asking for trouble. But, like, if I can go Grief Reanimate, isn't that, like, the way better on the play against Workshops? Just, like, picking apart their hand and being, like, so much... It's just so much stronger. I'm gonna mulligan this hand. This hand has Grief Troll... Grief Troll Oof. Grief Troll Oof. Bottom Dark Ritual. Or I can keep Dark Ritual and hardcast Grief. If I were to bottom Hogaak, bottom Troll and go Black Lotus Dark Ritual for 5 black mana, that's not enough, right? Because that will be 3. That'll add 2 is 5. So I could cycle for a land, but I couldn't play Grief plus Collector Roof. I could get rid of Hogaak and keep both trolls and cycle 1 troll now and 1 troll later. That's just like kind of anemic, right? I could cycle 1 troll now and then cycle another troll at end step, and then I can play the Grief on the second turn, but that's like not guaranteed to actually work. I just don't know if that's actually the correct play. Just bottom the Gaak, keep the Dark Ritual, Black Lotus for green, cycle for Swamp, play Collector Roof Swamp, and then cycle for Bayou. I don't need to cycle for Bayou. I mean, that's probably best. Workshop Sphere. Workshop Trinisphere. No, I was trying to hardcast the Grief. I didn't take the Bayou. I couldn't play anyways because of the Trinisphere. All right. I think griefing there just leaves me with no plays, and I don't think it's very good. We're just gonna die to Saga. Yeah, I mean, wait, they're actually still playing Revoker? Why am I boarding out Bowmaster, man? That's crazy. No one plays Revoker anymore. All right. Boarding out Bowmaster was like the biggest troll or the biggest scam I've ever been done by chat. They're just going to play Ancient Tomb and play Saga. Like 100%. And then I die immediately. I have not drawn very many Wastelands, huh? Oh, we're super dead here. I guess I was just supposed to grief the Trinisphere. So they are on Golos. They just get a Caracas here. Yeah, this game is 100% over. The Revoker named Troll of Khazad-dûm, which is a good name, but this game's lost. My first hand would have also lost to this, so. Shops is so good, though. Shops is just so good. Anyone who tells you Shops is unplayable is a complete liar, and you should not listen to them in any capacity. I don't know. Maybe I should have mulliganed to 5. This is such a good hand. Maybe I should have just kept in all my Bowmasters instead of Collector Roofs. All right, there's my Catacombs. I can continue playing the game now, but it's a little too late to play the game now. Especially because I can't fetch a basic. So I have to fetch a Bayou and get Wastelanded. This doesn't even help me. I guess this at least opens me up to maybe being able to play Vigor. Problem is Vigor's not even good enough here. I don't know. I just needed a better hand, right? My 7 wasn't going to do it. Maybe I needed to mulligan my 6 as well. I just haven't drawn any Grief Reanimate hands, right? That's kind of the key here. There will be loud when you join the Vintage community, there will be loud voices yelling incessantly that Shops is unplayable. Do not listen to those voices. They do not know what they're talking about, and they do not play the format. I'm just letting myself die here because I don't want to play anymore. I have to mulligan better, I think. All right, here we are. We're now in round 4 of the Vintage Challenge. We were very nice to have 64 players, so it'll only be 6 rounds. So we're halfway through. Burr Run, normally a bug player. This hand is pretty sweet, though. We'll definitely keep it. Obviously, if my opponent like plays a Chalice or something, it's bad, but we've got actually revealing a Chancellor of the NX would be kind of annoying, too. But we have a Mox Jet into a Cycle Troll, into a land, playing probably Deathray Shaman. We can Grief Pitch cast something to see what's going on. We've got Stitcher to mill into a Hogaak with multiple creatures to cast a Hogaak. Say, it's really nice. If it had a Reanimate, it'd be even stronger. Sapphire. And Ancestral. And Saga. Or Workshop. Or this is just the... Okay. Polluted Delta. Doomsday? No, Mana Crypt. Tenka. Beseech? All those things kind of bad for us. All right. Let's go Grief, Pitch Cast, a Deathray Shaman? Nah. A Stitcher Supplier? Probably a Stitcher Supplier. Grief, Pitch Cast, Stitcher Supplier. Show me your secrets. Ooh, we didn't get vamped tinkered. That's good. Oh, it's Oath. Oko brain. Wait, we didn't brainstorm here? I would have snapped off a brainstorm, maybe. Okay, so we are going to cycle and play a Deathray Shaman this turn. What are we the weakest to in this hand? Can we legitimately beat an Oko? No, I would never register a non-blue deck at Eternal Weekend. But I didn't really want to like just jam a boring deck for the weekend, so. I don't think we can legitimately beat an Oko. So I think we just have to take Oko. Like, I want to take Brainstorm and leave them with nothing, but I just don't actually think we can beat Oko. Like, how does our deck possibly beat Oko? They cast Oko and then what? We die? They make a 3/3, we can't win. They turn off our large creature. Like, we just can't beat an Oko. Oko is quite good against the fair creature deck, for sure. All right, first we're going to get a Deathray Shaman in play. Opponent's going to get to cast a Brainstorm and, like, fix their hand. I wanted more than anything in life to simply cast a Bowmaster there, but we could not. Or, like, take the Brainstorm. Like, I would definitely want to take the Brainstorm. All right. Wait, they just drew an Oath? This game has exactly 0 justice in it. This is just not fair. My opponents are so good. It's so doomed, man. Come on. Be serious. I can't even win. There's nothing I can do. They have 4 Atraxas in their deck. I know what they're oathing into. They're oathing into 4 Atraxas. I don't want to give them more information about my deck. I guess I'll pass the turn once and then I'll concede. Fine. They're not bad. They're not going to play a Grizzlebrand. They just copy paste the Bug Oath list. People don't just play Grizzlebrand anymore unless you're not trying to win. They didn't choose Mental Misstep. Don't really understand why. Doesn't seem like they're interested in putting another Atraxa in play, huh? So I can't reanimate an Atraxa. Not in the game one. There's just like no sequence that lets me do things that matter. They also have a show and tell. I wanted them to force the Bowmaster, but I was not able to get that to happen. Now they put the freaking Atraxa in play. That is not really how that works. I'd love that to be the case. They're just gonna flash another Atraxa and find Time Walk or Show and Tell one. Oh yeah, even just like finding an Oko. Probably just turn their Mana Crypt into a creature. Yeah. I don't think there's any sequence of plays that wins me this game, unfortunately. Even if I reanimate an Atraxa, they just Oko it. This matchup is really only good if you grief scam their Atraxa and reanimate it. If you do that, it's usually a pretty good matchup. But if you don't do that, it's like really not that good. But it is definitely something that could happen. It's not an unwinnable matchup by all means. I don't have a lot of interest in like playing to my opponent, like doing something brain dead. I know that you're supposed to do that, but it doesn't really, I don't know. That kind of line doesn't really interest me. I like playing Oka or Atraxa. It just gets, or I played a Hogaak. It just gets elked. Doesn't actually help. They force it? Why? Why though? Just elk it. Should I like play another one? I actually don't have enough to play another one anyways. All right. It's true. It's true. I have the Caracas. Oh, they did not activate the Oath of Druids. Unfortunate. They simply tinkered. Maybe they'll activate too many spells off of Tinker. Does not look like that's the case. I'm going to concede. Okay. So Force of Vigor, Caracas, in Collector Oof. Bowmaster. Out. What does Once Upon a Time actually find us? Grief? Yeah, okay. My opponent's deck has about 2 draw spells in it. It's got Probe, Ancestral. Sometimes probably it's Probe, Ancestral, Brainstorm, and sometimes it has Ponder, Preordain. So this is about all we can do. We have a couple answers to Show and Tell now. I mean, we have a couple answers to Oath now. We have an answer to an actual Caracas, or sorry, to an actual Atraxa. And we still have our Grief Scam package where we can grief away their Atraxa that they want to Show and Tell and put it into play. If our opponent goes Sarah's Emissary, do we want to have Snuff Out as an answer? It might actually just be better than a Bowmaster. That might be like a little silly. Like if we draw this Snuff Out and lose because of it, that's kind of silly. But it does give us an out to a Sarah's Emissary. I guess we also still have the ability to reanimate their Sarah's Emissary. Cabal Therapy, Dark Ritual, Force of Vigor, Mulligan. Dark Ritual, Dark Ritual, Dark Ritual, Grief. Swamp, Dark Ritual, Cast Grief. It's so bad, man. It's so bad. What are these hands? It's just not good. This deck just doesn't work. This deck just doesn't work. No, you can't be real. Probably better. Just maybe they'll go Orchard Oath here. Like maybe they'll just go Orchard Oath here. Have we considered that as a possibility? Orchard Oath. This isn't even good. Like, even if we had a troll, it's not even good. I mean, it would have been good because we would have had Force of Vigor. Wait, no, it wouldn't have been good. We would have just gotten Oath on turn 2. I guess we could have waited. Yeah, we could have drawn Green Source. We did it, guys. We put a troll in play. But who's the one really being trolled? Hint. It was me. Oh, Vampiric. Sick. Vamp for Oath. I die. Well, that's not the worst thing that could have happened. There were definitely worse things that could have happened. They did hit Forbidden Orchard, Sorcery, Emerald. Orchard, Lorien, Mox Force. Nice. We're gonna be one turn short if they oath, huh? Attack to 11, play an oath. No, they need an Oko, right? That we are actually one turn fast enough if all they have is oath. But if they show until we die, I guess. But they didn't hit a new Atraxa off their Atraxa. Yo, I should have kept the other troll in my hand in case they show and telled. Bro, I am terrible at this game. I am so bad at this game. It was absolutely free. Yeah, I just keep the other thing in my hand. They show and tell, and we kill them. Oh, I'm just bad. I'm just so bad. Oh, it's an Oko. Okay, we lose. It's fine. No, but that was like such a seriously bad play. Crazy. It's kind of sad. I should play against Oko deck, play against Swords of Plowshares decks, you know? Interesting that they chose not to stand this up. I guess they have an oath coming or something. Huh. Guess just buys them infinite time. I'm gonna try to force a vigor the thing that they try to stand up. But it's not gonna work because I know they have force of will hard cast. I'm gonna hold this troll for show and tell, I think. Don't think it wins anymore though, unfortunately. Might try to get the force off them here, and then I can like force pitching show and tell. Well, you know my last card now. 2 cards in their hand. I just like can't beat the stupid Oko though. I kind of need another reanimate. There's an Atrax over there. Even if I get another reanimate, I can't kill the Oko. Shramp. We are not. Well, my opponent didn't have a green source, so they vamped for flash, which makes sense, and their flash like didn't really hit. That's kind of why we're at the point we're at, I would assume. If my opponent had a green source, all they had to do was simply get an oath. Well, now they just have an oath and an orchard. So, yeah. Bigger, I guess. Grief. Grief. Yeah. Okay, maybe the Atraxas will be in the bottom cards of their deck. It happens to me all the time. Nope. Oh, they're playing Gaia's Blessing. We couldn't even lose. They couldn't even lose to that. All right. You've bested me in the arena of ideas. Yeah, I don't know. These hands are just like not remotely good enough. All right, we power through. It's 1-3, but that doesn't mean we can't face one of the highest win rate vintage players in the 1-3 bracket of the challenge. So I'm gonna keep this hand. Maybe I'm not supposed to keep this hand. I don't know. I feel like this is close. Maybe this is the reason we're not winning. It's because I'm keeping hands like this. I mean, if you just assume these are fetches, does it get better? Not really. I mean, yes, it immediately gets better because you play a Citrus Supplier in turn 1. All right, well, maybe I was supposed to mullet. No, this is fine. Like, Wasteland beats Saga. I fixed my black mana. I start casting spells. Like, it's not that bad. Unless they turn 1 combo kill me. But I have a therapy. Oh, Underground Sea. Am I playing against Doomsday? Oh, Mana Crypt. Am I playing against Tinker? Bro, like, what am I doing? What am I even doing here? I should just mulligan to Grief Reanimate. I can't keep this. Oh, I can cast that. Sick. If I get a Grief here, is it good? A Collect Roof, maybe? Vampire. Wait, what? My opponent had Tinker Citadel with a Vampiric Tutor on top and chose not to cast it. Why? Just Time Walk. It's free. I would be pissed if they had some kind of deterministic lethal line too. You could have done this on your turn and still played the game. I just don't understand, man. I just don't understand. Just don't understand. Time Walk in hand. That's a good reason. That's a good reason. But still, like, you can just vamp Ancestral, vamp Beseech, vamp whatever. Mystical. They Mystical for a Time Walk. Watch, ready? Yeah, they Mystical for a Time Walk. Vamp for Sensei's top. I just don't understand. There's no way that not vamping on your turn is that vamping on my turn is right. Like, I guess if they're worried that I'm gonna play something they need to force and they want to vamp for force, but like, vamp for force costs you 8 life. I don't know. I would love to hear the reasoning because I don't understand. Look, they had a top in their deck. Okay, there's just no reason you don't vamp for top, right? You just try to win the game. All right. I needed to keep a hand that had Grief Reanimate. Or at least a single Grief. All right, this is deterministic. Get me out of here. All right. Ley lines, vigors, oofs. I do think Leyline is good enough against these Beseech decks that you want to play it. I have no idea how that functions into our... How are we going to keep cards in our deck? Maybe we just like trim a bunch of the Hogaak stuff. Maybe we just trim like all of the Hogaak stuff. That kind of seems like the best choice. Like any creature is going to win. We have to stop our opponent from murdering us. 6, 10, 14. It's fine. Therapy. No, you still just keep therapy. Like we just need anything that interact with our opponent. Like here's grief turn 1 with therapy, right? We just grief pitching troll and we go dark ritual therapy bowmaster. Which 2 cards are we taking? Mox Jet Ritual. Leave them with Mystical Demonic, and they can't even Mystical for Ancestral because we have a Bowmaster. I mean, we're definitely taking Jet, right? If we took both tutors, and they just went Mox, Ritual, Beseech, Necropotence, it seems like a bad play. I'm pretty sure... Oh, you want me to take them to take... You want to take Beseech Tutor and leave them with just Mystical, and then they Mystical for a Tinker, and they Tinker us on turn 2? We technically could take 3 cards if we sack a Bowmaster token. True. Okay, we could just take all the tutors then. I wasn't like committing to using the therapy flashback, but that is probably the best line. I mean, the fact that we're taking 3 cards out of our opponent's hand is like definitely powerful, right? But if they do draw Tinker, we just lose again. We just lose on the spot, right? But yeah, that's okay. All right, so we'll just go demonic. Siege. All right, so that leaves my opponent with Dark Ritual, Jet, Underground Sea. I don't know, that's still kind of scary. But this is what I mean, where like if we had the grief scam every game, we'd be in like such a better spot, right? But I guess that's a 10%er, so we can't really always have that. I think giving them Mystical is like asking to lose. Like they could just take Ancestral and cast it, right? Like this Bowmaster doesn't actually stop them from casting Ancestral. It just dissuades them from casting Ancestral, right? So yeah, I kind of think so. Dress down. All right, I'm just going to cast this to get my extra damage in, right? Watch them just go Dark Ritual Tinker here. Time Walk, sure. If they go Dark Ritual Beseech, sacking Jet and dress down to Tinker for Citadel, it'd be pretty sick. I think I would just take the Mystical and not... I think just take all the tutors. I think that makes the most sense. Vigor. Vigor might be good if they end up going on like a Saga game plan and we draw a green card. We don't have that many green cards in our deck though. Grafdigger's Cage. Interesting. They brought in Grafdigger's Cage. Maybe we shouldn't bring in Leyline. If they have a Grafdigger's Cage, it means they're like trying less to do Tinker Citadel and less to do Yawgmoth's Will. Hello. This is one away from killing them. Saga Gaming. There's my Leyline. I don't know. Maybe this Leyline is bad. I usually kind of like Leyline against Beseech, but maybe they just have enough other choices that it's not good. That could be the case. Do we like bring in a Caracas for a possible... Maybe we just play like a Dismember. We just play Stitcher Supplier. It's probably fine. Maybe we just play like Stitcher Supplier and Hogaak. We're gonna like get a Vigor and have it be bad where Leyline would be good, and we're gonna be really sad, right? But like we're gonna have this like Vigor Gack hand, and it's gonna be like, ha, idiot. I'm gonna keep this, I think. I don't know, maybe Leyline on the draw is like a lot better too. I think I can wait. I don't want them to know if I'll have a grief or not for this first turn of the game. Saga. Might end up just strip mining them too. And a Crypt. Manifold Key. Untap. Time Vault. Okay. Needle? Okay. Uh-huh. Let's draw our card first. Because we can draw Vigor. And we can also Once Upon a Time for a Wasteland. All right, we did not draw something that helps us here. So, but we now can draw Collector Roof. So if we Once Upon a Time for Collector Roof, that's a win. All right, this Once Upon a Time needs to hit Collector Oof. Could hit Wasteland. That's kind of it. Collector Oof just wins the game on the spot, so. This game is so unlucky. Like, we're just so unlucky, aren't we? We actually have Grief Reanimate, but they just killed us on turn 1 instead. And then they needled my Strip Mine for this. So I can't even win. But like if I could Strip Mine them, I could maybe win with Crypt Flips. But now I can't even win with Crypt Flips. So it's just lost. That's so sad. I mean, I could play like longer here, but it's like it's just useless. Oh, come on! No, 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 no. Here we are in our 6th and final round. We are currently sitting in last place, second to last place versus the last place player. I do think that our deck has underperformed, but I also kind of think we ran a little cold. I motherfucking drew Grief Reanimate in round 6 at the 1 in 4 There is simply no justice in the world. How am I going to draw my best hand in my last round when it doesn't matter anymore? Yes, we did get eliminated from that. Ah, 8 cast. They have a Grafdigger's Cage in their hand. Tinker Grafdigger's Cage. I'll take the Soul Ring. I get one. I just scam people forever. This deck is so bad. I guess we just take Tinker, right? Like, oh, they're so far away from Tinker, and I'm going to play an Oof on turn 2. Take the Metamorph out of their hand in case they draw a Workshop. I don't know. I don't think it matters too much. We Grief Reanimated them. It's basically impossible to win from here. I like how they had a Cage and a Tinker in the same hand, and I just went Grief Reanimate. This is a matchup where Collector Roof is good in. I mean, we could die to Patchworks. They draw a Workshop. They play Patchwork, Patchwork. Things get bad. Totally possible. Academy's a good draw. Wait, now they get to make a construct? Wait, Academy's a fucked up draw. Academy's the only draw that happens. Oh, all right, never mind. It's free. It's too easy. Now I'm drawing perfects every turn. It's crazy. Like, this is my deck operating at maximum capacity in the 1-4 bracket. I hate the Academy because the Saga is going to go away and artifacts are turned off, so it's better for me to hit the Academy. God, I love a good Vanishing Land. There are some people that are confidently wrong on Twitter about that Hogaak interaction. Ooh, the main deck Needle. Turn off the Deathrite Shamans. Nice. Mox. Make the thing a 2-2. Big. They're making a comeback. Don't call it a comeback. Been here for years. The competition, I'm towering. Dare stare, don't move or ever compare. Patchwork Automaton. Another victim has been scammed by Justin. Probably turn one of these Deathrite Shamans into a counter for Thoughtcast. Let me just make sure that doesn't kill. If they block next turn, they only go to 1 anyways. Okay. Wait, I can't cast it because of Grafdigger's Cage. God damn it. All right, I will not do that then. Just because I cannot do that. It is illegal. Oh, now I have a lethal attack. Oh, I guess they can have force, but that is the same thing, I guess. So it's fine. They're going to block this. Ooh, if I shoot them. They can't force because the same thing happens where they take 1 extra damage and then they die. Okay. All right. My deck worked perfectly in that game. I played Grief, I played Reanimate, and I collector-roofed my Seat of the Cyanide opponent. Like, everything went according to the plan. I know the rest of this tournament has not gone according to the plan, but this game went according to the plan. All right, so Bowmaster is nuts in this matchup. Collector Roof is nuts in this matchup. I actually think this is like a trim down on the Hogaak stuff matchup. Mental Misstep, probably not that good. Therapy on the draw maybe is worse. And then we just like trim a Stitcher supplier. We play 3 Stitcher, 2 Hogaak. We want all of our Once Upon a Times because we want as many Collector Roofs as possible. Submit. If there is a single deck that is a good matchup for us, this has to be it, right? Like, Collector Oof and Force of Vigor are at their all-time best. Grief and Reanimate look really strong. All right, what is this? This hand has a Okay, this is an interesting hand. Is this hand a mulligan, chat? Because Collector Oof is the single most important card in the matchup, but we're on the draw, and we can only play it on turn 2. However, our deck doesn't really ever play Collector Oof before turn 2. So, like, what are you hoping to mulligan to? You're hoping to mulligan to Grief Reanimate? You're hoping to mulligan to Black Lotus? I am, for what it's worth, I am mulliganing this hand because it's not strong enough. But, like, it is kind of sus that we are mulliganing this hand in my mind. Grief, Reanimate, Once Upon a Time, and Deathray Shaman. This is a keep, but what are we putting back? Is it one grief? One grief we put back? It's probably one grief we put back. Is it second vigor? Because I was thinking we would want to cast Once Upon a Time, and we would want to have that green card. I feel like it's the second grief. Workshop. Automaton. God damn it, I can't vigor that card. Mox. Mox. I think we're gonna have to time walk. I think I'm going to vigor their Moxen. Because this is a blue mana. So I have to take Troll. No, I'm just gonna take Bowmaster and try to draw into more mana. The reason I'm doing this is so they can't like play Thoughtcast or anything, play Thought Monitor. I think it's like kind of important that I take them off of Sapphire. If it was Jet plus like Ruby, I don't think I would make this play. But because it's Sapphire, I think it's important. Cage. Okay. This thing's a 5/5, man. So strong. Well, I mean, we can just like do like Bowmasters, play Hogaak, you know. They have one card. I'm just going to play the Deathray Shaman this turn. I want to strip mine them, but I can't really. They hit Island. 10. 1, 2, 3. They have 5 mana, so they don't have a Thought Monitor in hand. They could have a Thought. They don't have a Thoughtcast or a Thought Monitor in hand. So that means we simply strip mine their island and then play a Bowmaster. All right, that gives us a blocker. Probably do a block now, just in case they end up with like a Shadow Spear or something. Gives us more time. And then on this next turn here, we can play a Grief. Or another Bowmaster. Probably better. Oh, wait, we can't play a Grief. That's not enough mana. Is it better to hold this Wasteland in case we hit another Lana to play Grief? Probably is. I guess this keeps them off of Metamorph. I don't know. This is going okay. I currently have enough to play a Gaak if I draw it, though I did board out half of my Gaaks, right? Yeah. I have a lot of turns. They don't have any mana at the moment. Bayou. I'm just getting F6 value. I don't actually have to sequence like this, but they don't have Time Walk in their deck, so I can just attack here. I'll take my one hit. Definitely don't want to eat cards from my yard, though. Just because if I draw a Hogaak, that's like my best way of stopping this thing. But if I draw a land, I will play a Grief, obviously. Something I might need to play around is Dismember. Yeah. I'm down to 5. Deathrite Shaman number 2. So I can play a new Deathrite Shaman and attack with... They're at 13. So if I abandon the Hogaak plan and I use this Deathrite Shaman to deal them 2, attack with 1 Bowmaster and chump with 1 Bowmaster, then they're at 10. I can always eat a Bowmaster later to gain a turn as well. I have only 4 damage worth of spells in my yard. It's close. Ooh, that it could be real bad for me. Could be quite bad for me. I have to block. That's forced. So it's better for me to eat the Bowmaster, right? Because I can still eat both of my spells on my turn. Troll of Khazad-dûm. How far am I from casting this? 2. So it's probably better if I just cycle this. Yeah. Probably better if I just cycle this, get a Bayou, play a Bayou. The question is, do I play this Grief? I think the answer to that question needs to be yes. So we make 2 mana, and then I make 2 mana, and I play a Grief. I guess I could get Force of Willed if I do this. It's also like means I can't hit like a... I guess I couldn't really hit a Vigor anyways. If they hit a land next turn, it's so bad for me, right? I guess this getting Force of Willed is pretty actively bad for me as well. Didn't get forced. What's their hand? Their hand, they did have the ability to force me. And they've been holding a seat of the Cyanod and a Mox Pearl. Huh. I mean, they could just simply tinker away this cage. They could have done this last turn. Last turn, they could have gone Mox, seat, tinker away my cage. Maybe that's like not a good play. I don't know. Seems like a good play to me. All right, whatever it is, they're making constructs, so things are bad. Just gonna take this tinker. Even if they don't think it's correct, I think it's correct to have cast Tinker, so I don't want them to come to that realization. Also, taking away Tinker means I can eat it later. That's necessary. So I think I take this hit. Go to 2. I guess if they have a Shadow Spear in their sideboard, I'm not allowed to take this hit. I'm just going to lose to a Shadow Spear no matter what, right? Like, there's, like, no world where I can take a Shadow Spear hit, so I guess I'll just go to 1, right? Also keeps a Bowmaster in play in case they draw a spell that matters. Reanimate. All right, that is the card that Grafdigger's Cage does stop, and I am also at 1 life. So I will attack with this Grief and put them to 9. They're going to make a bunch of constructs, and then we see if they have a Shadow Spear. If they have a Shadow Spear, we die. So if I had pitched the Deathray Shaman instead of the second Vigor, was it good for me? I don't really think so. Key also kills me. Yeah, sure. I mean, I didn't draw a collector roof, right? So it was going to be tough for me to stop them from, like, doing powerful things. These are both lethal, very lethal. See what they've got. I guess they do have a Shadow Spear, okay? And they have a second Saga. All right, so we die to that. That's okay. Kind of needed to draw a collector roof, I think, in this game. It felt like a game that we could technically grind out and win. Maybe there's a world where I'm supposed to hold my Wastelands, but it allows them to cast, like, way too many spells if I do that. Let's run it back. Yeah, I don't think I was able to, like, pitch the thing, so. All right, last game. On the play, what do we got? We've got Grief Reanimate. Let's go. Keep. We also have just, like, hard cast Grief if we wanted to. Just somehow worse. There's, like, no world where we, like, pitch Deathray Shaman to play around. Nah, whatever. We'll just Grief you, pitching Reanimate. I feel like we've drawn a lot of Grief Reanimates in this set. Force of Will, no blue card, Nettlecyst, Automaton. All right, I will take Nettlecyst and Automaton. Cool Mana Crypt. This deck looks so good when I just simply draw the good cards. Should I just Black Lotus out my Shaman? Feels like I should. If I was going to do this, I should have played my Dryad Arbor, right? Mistake. I'm going to lose 1 damage. I could just hold it and try to draw, like, a troll. There's, like, a lot of value in holding it with my deck that has, like, 3 Griefs and 4 trolls, right? They just didn't cast anything and they're off it. Fair. Maybe they're playing around Wasteland. I don't know. I mean, if they want to like wait for an automaton, right? So they don't play workshop to play around Wasteland, and they hold their moxes so that they can rebuild an automaton. I don't think it's unreasonable to maybe completely pass here. That doesn't actually seem like something that's like outlandish. Like they're holding their land so they don't get Wasteland, and they're holding like their moxland so they can grow an automaton. Here's the workshop. Needle on Shaman. Now the question is, do I have to... Oh, Needle on Wasteland. Interesting. Collector Roof Reanimate is in my yard. I have 2 Reanimates. Just crack these on end step here. That's probably worse than attacking, now that I think about it, because there's like no way I'm going to get another spell in my yard. Yeah, I should have just attacked first, because that would have put us at a better spot for lethal, right? Or no? Maybe it doesn't matter. Yeah, I should have attacked this turn, and then I held this for the next turn. But like, I'm not going to cast anything the rest of this game anyways. There are only 2 activations, so... Yeah, it just makes sense to attack there. I kind of got lost in the sauce. Oh. All right. Boom. I mean, that's just kind of like we just did the thing in round 6 when it didn't matter in any capacity. Like, it was so sad. It was so sad. All right. So what do we think about this deck? Final conclusions, final thoughts. I think the concept works, and it actually is like a pretty reasonable unpowered deck. So maybe if you wanted to play Eternal Weekend and you didn't want to play and you didn't have any power, like the deck gets worse without power, right? But it's not like that much worse without power. You can just like simply play Elvish Spirit Guides if you really wanted to. Elvish Spirit Guides are kind of bad in this deck because you don't really have a lot of green, but you can play the death rate off it. So if you like simply sub these out for 3 Elvish Spirit Guides, then this is probably a pretty reasonable unpowered deck, right? There's a possibility you're trying to play opposition agents in your sideboard. That might help a little bit. I do think that these Leyline of the Voids might just supposed to be endurance. That way you can bring them in like a matchup that wasn't exactly only Bazaar. Like you can bring them in against the Lurrus decks, and they'd probably be pretty good actually. So like it's possible that you want to play like endurance in your sideboard instead of playing Leyline of the Void, because you should be okay against Bazaar anyways. You're on Wasteland plus endurance, maybe. I don't know. A card you can think about is Grist. Grist might help with those Swords to Plowshares matchups, honestly. Could be a pretty big improvement in those areas if you wanted to beat up those areas. If you wanted to beat up like Urza Saga decks, then maybe the answer for Grist isn't actually Grist. Maybe it's that search term is not going to help us in any way. It's Opposition Agent. Opposition Agent can hit the Lorien Revealed and the Urza Saga search, which ends up being pretty reasonable. And then if you're playing in paper, something to consider is the card Poxwalkers. Poxwalkers is not on Magic Online, but it's a Warhammer 40k card that comes back when you cast spells from the yard. So you could play more Cabal Therapies and Poxwalkers, and maybe that ends up being something you want. I don't know if that's actually the case here, because there are so few cards that are coming back from the yard at the moment that it might not be worth it. So those are things I would think about, but Pretty cool deck list. I'm sad it didn't really work out, but we did get to see glimmers of what it's supposed to be doing. If you're interested in vintage content, make sure you check out the YouTube channel. You're already on the YouTube channel, make sure you consider subscribing. That's a free action you can take and enjoy the new vintage content every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I will see you then.